Hey everybody, welcome back to Guys Night Lab. I'm Jesus, and happy holidays, and welcome back to another 12 Days of Christmas. Today's movie I'm going to review is a movie that probably is not on a lot of people's podcast reviews, and it's probably not like most people's traditional Christmas movie to watch, but it's a movie that I love and I watch every year. Just heads up, there's spoilers, and yeah. But I don't think there's really necessarily like spoilers in this movie. But the movie that I'm talking about is called Friday After Next. And so Friday After Next came out in 2002, which is like 20 years ago, or a little over 20 years ago, which is crazy. But it's the sequel or the trilogy, the third movie of the movie Friday, starring Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, which is an amazing movie if you've never seen it. But Friday After Next, it's a Christmas movie, and it takes place on a Friday. And it stars Ice Cube, Mike Epps. So if you don't know who Mike Epps is, he plays Day Day. And so after Chris Tucker from Friday, Day Day played kind of the sidekick to Ice Cube's Craig and Day Day, or Craig and Smokey, whatever, Chris Tucker. But Day Day is like his sidekick now. So he's hilarious in it. But John Witherspoon's in it, Don Curry, Cat Williams, Clifton Pell, Terry Crews is in it. I mean, it's got a really good all-star cast. It's a great movie. Now, just forewarn before I continue with this review, this movie is rated R, like and rightfully so. Like there is a lot of swearing. There is it's pretty much a lot of swearing. There's sexual like not like activity, but innuendos or conversation and stuff like that. But it's mainly for swearing and some crude humor. But what I love about this movie is that it's just pretty much like a ghetto Christmas. And if you've ever been poor or like a little poverty or not had a lot of money in general or during Christmas, like this is what makes it great. Like what I love okay, so let me just give you a review of the movie. So on Christmas Eve, Craig and Day Day get robbed by a Ghetto Santa. And so anyways, they get robbed, and the ghetto Santa steals their Christmas rent. And so then the manager of the apartment, wants her rent money. And then her son, Damon, who's played by Terry Crews, he's like this big, Terry Crews is big, but he's like gonna like kind of like beat them up or other stuff, because he's been in prison. So he, fresh fish or whatever, if you know what that means. But anyways, the whole point is like they got to find their rent money because they don't want to deal with Damon. But then the other part is that they're rent-a-cops or security guards at a strip mall, and the strip mall has like a Brothers Barbecue, a donut shop, a liquor store, like a pimp's clothing store, all this other stuff. But it's just, I don't know, if you've ever been to any of these strip malls or you've been in stuff, it's just like, it has that ghetto Christmas charm. Like if you've ever been to the swap meet, like I take my kids like every other year to the swap meet. And it's just like, okay, here's the thing. And I'm going to go off on a little tangent before I go back to reviewing this movie. Like if you've ever gone, okay, so we go to this pretty rich area called like Candy Car Lane or Candy Cane Lane or something like that. And it's in like a richer area, and it's like nice houses, and there's like Christmas lights, and it's packed, and everyone's looking at it, and there's hot cocoa, and it's fun, and it's nice. It's a good time. Like everyone's having a great time. But I as well take my kids to the swap meet, and not to say that that's ghetto, and not to say that everything that's ghetto is bad, but yeah, it's a little more ghetto, but it's a good ghetto. They have little stands. There's like a churro stand. They have their own Santa. It's different, but it's just more like, not to say home, but it's just like, it's different. I don't know how to explain it. And it's like, if you've ever been in that situation where it's just like, you kind of have to make stuff up as Christmas to make it seem like it's nice and rich in your own way, then that's what it is. And so that's what like Friday After Next for me is great, because it just shows like the what people do on Christmas Eve. And so anyways, the whole point is they're Craig and Day Day, they're security guards, and they're just getting into shenanigan after shenanigan. But like they stop two crooks trying to steal clothes, And then Day Day's getting like, too much power going to his head. So he starts like cussing out these old ladies. And then Ice Cube, who's Craig in the movie, he's trying to like, calm down Day Day and all this stuff. Then these gang members try to like beat them up, and then all this stuff happens. And so then like, anyway, so towards the third act of the movie, they leave the strip mall, they get fired from their jobs, and then they go to a Christmas party at their like apartment complex. And what I love about this is like, it's like Terry Crews' character just got out of prison, and he's like, I'm wearing I'm wearing phone books so I don't get stabbed or whatever at the party. And it's just hilarious. And because Craig's like, you're not going to get stabbed here. Like, my grandma's over there, my uncle, my dad, my mom, like, my family's here. Like, his friends are there, but like, so anyways, like all these things happen. And, there's a girl that Craig wants to get with, and Day Day's trying to like interfere and all this stuff. But after that, they find the Santa, they find the Ghetto Santa in the streets, and then they start chasing him. And so then like they start going through different houses, and then like everyone's like, it's kind of cute and fun, even though it's like rated R, but like you see different houses where like, kids are like playing pool or playing PlayStation or whatever, even though they're like, it was the gang members, they're all playing PlayStation, but it's like at the parents' grandma's house. Like you're still at family's house during Christmas Eve. So anyways, all this stuff happens throughout the movie, and they get their presents back, they get their rent money, and all this stuff happens. I love the movie because it's just like, for a small portion of my life, for a few years, I was homeless in high school, and growing up, like we had money, but we didn't have a lot of money. But then like when I was high school, when I was a kid, like we had money, but we didn't. It's kind of like up and down, like it was never secure. And then like when I was in high school, I was homeless, so it was like, there was always just that ghetto Christmas or whatever. You got to find a way to make it, seem like you're in the Christmas spirit and getting presents. So just watching this movie, I just love it because it just reminds me of that stuff. And even though those times were hard, they were fun because it's just like the survival of the fittest in a sense. But anyways, with all this said, this movie is definitely not for everybody. Like I said, there's a lot of adult situations, a lot of swearing, a lot of bad words. So definitely not a recommendation for everybody. Definitely not little kids. It's not a kids movie. It's definitely a grown up movie, teenager movie. And it's a definitely like, not to say culture movie, but like like a black movie, it's a Friday. So it's just like, there's going to have like that you might not understand some of that culture, not to say that because I'm like a Mexican, Hispanic, whatever, like there's that mutual understanding, but there's still differences, but you get it. And so not to say that if you're like white or Asian or other ethnicities, you're not going to get it, because you might, because, but poverty is a culture in itself. So if you were ever poor, you understand that culture. But if you were never poor, that's not to say you won't like this movie. You just might not understand it. And so, but I'm not saying don't check it out. Just be forewarned that it's a different movie. But anyways, I will catch you on the next one. So Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.